So here are some instances of nouns in vocative case in Ukrainian. Yes, vocative case in Ukrainian only exists for nouns. So if you want to address Ukraine, okay, Україна is nominative case, but vocative would be Україно. There is this beautiful song called Україно, sang by Taras Petrenenko, which I love so much. So yeah, if you would like to address Ukraine, you would say Україно. School, nominative is школа, but vocative школо, школо. Village, село, vocative село. Brothers, брати. Sisters, sestry. So as much as I'm trying to focus on usage, the cases in Ukrainian in this series, there is only one instance of using vocative case when addressing somebody, so that you would tell me, so why, what is this video about? So first of all, vocative case can be really confusing. There is a lot of rules, and even native speakers make mistakes while using the vocative case. And in spoken Ukrainian, many people avoid using vocative case at all. They will just do nominative, and that's all. So the good news is, if you are a learner who would just like come to the country and be understood, you can totally address people or things using nominative case. Okay, you will be totally understood, and that will not sound as unnatural as it would sound if you use nominative instead of any other cases. Okay, that's because many native speakers also would avoid using vocative. But if you are learning Ukrainian to be able to write papers, to pass some tests and things like that, then of course you need to know vocative. So in this video I will try to make vocative case for you a little less confusing, hopefully, because yes, there are many different details worth mentioning if you want to get a vocative case figured out. So yes, our first detail would be that plural nouns in vocative case take the form of nominative case. Okay, so you just take nominative case and that would be their vocative. For instance, друзі, ходімо в кіно. Друзі, ходімо в кіно. Friends, let's go to the cinema. Okay, so друзі is friends, it's plural, and the vocative form for it is the same that it is for nominative. Громадяни, зверніть увагу на новий закон. Громадяни, зверніть увагу на новий закон. Citizens, pay attention to the new law. Okay, громадяни, citizens. So vocative is same like nominative. Брати і сестри, не сваріться. Брати і сестри, не сваріться. Brothers and sisters, don't argue, don't fight. Брати is plural, сестри is plural, brothers, sisters. So again, for vocative we just use nominative. Also an interesting detail, in Ukrainian we have patronyms, so-called по-батькові. по-батькові. So basically every Ukrainian name contains your name, the first name, the father's name, this patronym по-батькові, and the surname. Okay, so if a father's name is Микола, okay, so his son would be Миколайович, the patronym for his son would be Миколайович, and for his daughter would be Миколаївна. Okay, so if I see somebody's по-батькові Миколаївна, I know that their father's name is Микола. If the father's name is Petro, let's say, then the patronyms would be Petrovich, masculine, and feminine, Petrivna. Petrovich, Petrivna. If the father name is Stepan, the patronyms would be masculine, Stepanovich, and feminine, Stepanivna. Naturally, the patronym comes after the first name and is used in a formal situation, or when you are addressing a person that is older than you and you want to show respect. Being students, being at school, we would always address our teacher by the name and this patronym, name and по-батькові. Okay, so it would be, for instance, Ольга Степанівна, Петро Семенович, etc. First name and then the patronym. So all the feminine patronyms, all the feminine по-батькові in vocative case will take ending o. And all masculine will take ending u. So it will be Миколаївно, Миколайовичу, Петрівно, Петровичу, Сергіївно, Сергійовичу. So if we are addressing a person by name and по-батькові, both words we put in vocative case. For instance, Світлано Степанівно, Ігорю Андрійовичу, Вікторе Петровичу, Тетяно Олександрівно, Галино Семенівно. Number 3, if we have a combination of a word pan or pani, which are Ukrainian equivalents of English, let's say Mr. or Mrs., okay? So if we have a construction where there is pan and then the surname, or pani and then the surname, there is no strict rule. You can either put both words in vocative, okay? Some rules say that the both words should be in vocative, and other rules says that only the word pane should go in vocative, or pani should go in vocative, but for pani it will be the same that it is for nominative. So only the word pane changes here, okay? The rest stays the same. If we have pan Stepanenko, we would have pane Stepanenko or pane Stepanenku if we decide to put both in vocative case. Pan Sereda, so pane Sereda or pane Seredo if we decide to put both words in vocative. If we have pani Stetsenko in nominative, in vocative it would be the same. Pani Stetsenko, because the word pani doesn't change and the surname Stetsenko doesn't change, because Ukrainian feminine surnames that end in o or in a consonant, they don't change. They just take nominative for vocative. Pani Gavrilishin also would be the same for nominative and for vocative, because Gavrilishin is a feminine surname that ends in a consonant, therefore for vocative it doesn't change. Let's take Ukrainian feminine surname that would change for vocative. Let's take this short cute surname Mucha. Mucha translates as a fly from Ukrainian. Pani Mucha in nominative would become Pani Mucho, okay? Mucho in vocative case. Also, Ukrainian surnames that end in ki for masculine and ka for feminine, for vocative they also will not change, because surnames like that sound and work like adjectives. And we agreed that vocative case only exists for nouns and not for adjectives, okay? So the surname like Kowalski, we said Pan Kowalski for nominative and Pan Kowalski for vocative, because it will be the same for vocative and nominative, because a surname like that sounds like an adjective. Also, Pani Kowalska will be the same for nominative and for vocative, because Kowalska sounds like an adjective and works like an adjective, therefore nominative is the same like vocative. Pan Ivanitsky, okay, also would be the same nominative and vocative. Pani Ivanitska also wouldn't change. Number 4, if we have a construction of an adjective plus a noun, such as dear friend or beloved wife and things like that, then again, naturally using the logics and remembering then that vocative doesn't exist for adjectives, we only put our noun in vocative. The adjective in this construction stays in nominative, because vocative for it just doesn't exist. For instance, любий друг, nominative, but vocative would be любий друже, okay? Любий stays nominative, but друже becomes vocative. Любий друже, dear friend. Дорога вчителько, dear teacher. Дорога вчителько. Дорога stays the same because that's an adjective, and вчителька in nominative becomes вчителько because that is vocative. Кохана дружино, beloved wife. Кохана дружино. Okay, кохана дружина nominative, but кохана дружино vocative. Also, the same thing works with a construction when there is a pronoun plus noun. Okay, because for pronouns, vocative also doesn't exist. I've made videos on the cases for adjectives and pronouns. For instance, моя дитина, my child. If we want to address my child, we would say моя дитино. Моя doesn't change because that is a pronoun, and vocative for a pronoun doesn't exist. My brother, мій брат, nominative, but vocative would be мій брате. Мій брате. Only brother, only brat becomes vocative. Number 5, also the situation with foreign names is interesting. So if a feminine foreign name ends in a or ya, then we put it in vocative case. We pick the ending we need and put it in vocative. For instance, Rebecca ends in a, so vocative would be Rebecco. Sylvia ends in ya, so vocative would be Sylvie. The name of Arabic origin, if I'm not mistaken, Farida, will become Farido in vocative. Okay, let's take another one. Samira, Samiro. Fatma, Fatmo. But if a feminine foreign name ends in e, ye, I, yi, o, u, or a consonant, okay, we consider a name like that an unchangeable noun, okay? Незмінюваний іменник, okay? So, words like that, in Ukrainian, no matter what grammatically the case should be, they will always stay nominative, okay? They will not change their ending at all. So, it works for a vocative as well. So, for instance, correct me if I'm wrong, we had the Arabic name Farida, so Farida in the vocative was Farido, but if we take a Turkish version of this name, forgive me if I'm wrong, it is Feride, so it ends in e, therefore it is our unchangeable noun, so in vocative it will stay Feride. And in any other case, it will stay Feride, okay? Same goes for Lindsay, okay? In Ukrainian, we would say Lindsay. In vocative, will stay Lindsay, like in nominative. Katie, Kate, Elizabeth, they all end in consonant. Piper, Zeynep, etc. They will all not change in any case, including vocative. Also, if a masculine foreign name ends in e, ye, I, yi, o, u, we are also dealing with an unchangeable noun. So names like Louis, Harry, Pedro, Alejandro, Fernando, Massimo, Ricardo will not change in any case, and for vocative they will stay nominative. But masculine foreign name that end in consonant will work exactly like Ukrainian names. Masculine names that end in consonant. Names like Richard, Richard is nominative, but vocative would be Richarde. Stephen, Stephen is nominative, Stevene vocative. Mark, Marku. Ahmed, Ahmede. David, Davide. Okay, and now I have a suggestion. Let's make something a bit different. You always keep looking at the books that I have here in the background because I'm an active reader. So I decided to take some books and read the author names from the cover and put those names in vocative case. Let us try to address the writers. Okay, let us begin with feminine ones. So the first book is My Dark Vanessa, Моя темна Vanessa, and the author is Kate Elizabeth Russell. Here you can tell. Okay, so here we see Kate is a foreign name that ends in a consonant. So for vocative it will not change, okay? It will stay Kate still. Elizabeth also ends in T, it's a consonant, also will not change. And Russell is a feminine surname, and I told you that a feminine surname that ends in a consonant also doesn't change for vocative. So if we want to say Kate Elizabeth Russell, how old are you? We would say Kate Elizabeth Russell, скільки вам років? Next book is written by a Nigerian author called Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Again, I'm telling you the Ukrainian versions of the name. I'm sure I'm butchering their names, and I'm sorry because I have no idea how to pronounce them correctly originally, okay? So, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The first name is Chimamanda. It ends in A. So if we would like to address Chimamanda, we would say Chimamando in vocative, okay? And both Ngozi and Adichie end in E, so they will not be changed in vocative. So let's ask her what's her favorite book. Chimamando, яка ваша улюблена книга? Chimamando. Next book is by Malala, okay? So Malala is a foreign name for Ukraine, but it ends in A, therefore we will change the ending and work just like with any Ukrainian name with it, okay? So Malala in vocative will become Malalo, okay? So for instance, Malala, what's the day today? Malalo, який сьогодні день? Next book is by Daphne du Maurier, or Daphna du Maurier in Ukrainian. So Daphna ends in R, and even though it is a foreign name for Ukraine, we will still change the ending. We would say Daphno. And also the name of the book is Rebecca, okay? So in vocative it will be Rebecco. Another book by Daphne du Maurier, Daphna du Maurier in Ukrainian, is My Cousin Rachel, Моя кузина Rachel. Okay, so let us put Моя кузина Rachel in vocative case. Моя is a pronoun, okay, so it will stay vocative. Кузина is a noun, so it will become кузино. And Rachel is a foreign name for Ukraine, which ends in a consonant L, okay, so it will not change. So in order to put Моя кузина Rachel in vocative, we would say Моя кузино Rachel. The only word that will change the ending is кузино. The next book is by Ukrainian author Sofia Andruhovich. So if we want to address her, we would say Sofia. Sofia, and if we want to address her by name and surname, we would say Sofia Andruhovich, because the feminine Ukrainian surname ends in ch. Ch is a consonant, therefore for vocative we will not change it. Sofia Andruhovich. My favorite author, Margaret Atwood, in Ukrainian is Margaret Atwood. Margaret is a feminine foreign name which ends in T, okay, it's a consonant, so we will not change it. So if we will address her, we would say Margaret without any change. Next one is Diana Wynne Jones, okay, so Diana ends in A, so the ending will change, Diano. Next one is also my favorite book. It is Persepolis by Iranian author Marjan Satrapi. So the name Marjan is foreign for Ukraine. It ends in N, which is a consonant. So if we want to address her, we would say just Marjan without any change. Let's speed up a little. Alice Munro in nominative will become Alice and will become just Munro. In vocative, neither of the words will change. A Ukrainian classic author, Ольга Кобилянська. Ольга Кобилянська. So Olga will become Olgo in vocative, and Kobylянська is a surname that I told you. It ends in Ka. So that is the surname that works like an adjective. Therefore, in the vocative, it will not change. So our vocative case would be Ольго, and Кобилянська will stay the same because there is no vocative for adjectives. Arundhati Roy, an author of an Indian origin, Arundhati will also not change because it ends in E. Christy Watson, Christy ends in E, is a foreign name, will stay the same for vocative, Christy. And Sylvia Plath, if we want to make it vocative, Sylvie, Sylvie, because Sylvia ends in ya, therefore we will have to change an ending and make it vocative. Okay, and a little stack of masculine names. Again, I'm reading you the Ukrainian versions. I'm sure that originally they sound very differently. So, Honoré de Balzac. Honoré is a foreign name here. Okay, you can see. It ends in E, therefore we will not change it. That's an unchangeable name, okay? So, Honoré will stay the same in vocative. Honoré, how are you doing? Як у вас справи, Honoré? Another author, Anthony Doerr. Anthony Doerr. Anthony ends in E. It is a foreign name, so we will not change anything. That's an unchangeable word. So, Anthony Doerr. Anthony, скільки вам років? Anthony, how old are you? Okay? But a Ukrainian equivalent of the name, Anton, will change. Anton in vocative would be Антоне. Антоне, скільки тобі років, but Anthony, скільки тобі років. An author of Japanese origin, Kazuo Ishiguro. Kazuo Ishiguro. Again, both words will not change because they end in O, and that is an unchangeable word in Ukrainian. Both will stay the same for vocative. Kazuo Ishiguro. A Brazilian author, Jorge Amado. Jorge, again, ends in E, therefore it will not change. Jorge Amado will stay the same for vocative. Hey Jorge, how are you? Jorge, як справи? Another one is also interesting. Just take a look at this cover, because I can't even, honestly. So pretty. So, the author of this book is Richard Feynman. Richard Feynman. That's a foreign name, which however ends in a consonant, therefore we will have to add an ending. Richarde will be vocative form. But also the name of the book is interesting. It says, Та ви жартуєте, містере Feynman. The original, it is translated as, surely you're joking, Mr. Feynman. Okay? So you see, Mr. Feynman. It sounds like pan, okay? We could say pane Feynman, but here it is an English-speaking person, so we are addressing to them. So we are addressing them as Mr., okay? So Mr. here changed to vocative, okay? But Feynman, the surname, stays the same. Because I told you the rule. We have to change to vocative this title, Mr. or Pan, okay? Mr. Pane. But the surname we can either change or we can keep it nominative, okay? That's what they did here. They kept the surname nominative. Next one is by Polish author Jacek Denel, okay? So it ends in a consonant, plus it's a Slavic name also, so they work very similar as Ukrainian. So Jacek will be Jaceku, okay? Jaceku. Jaceku, jak sprawy? Another one of my favorite authors is Jorge Luis Borges. Jorge Luis Borges. He was an Argentinian author, so Jorge ends in E, okay? So we don't change it. Jorge will be the same for all the cases, including vocative. Luis, however, ends in S, which is a consonant, therefore we will have to add an ending. Luise, okay? Luise. And Borges is a surname, but if we would like to address somebody by their surname, we would say Borgese. Borgese, jak pożywaєш? How you doing, Borges? Okay, and the last one is William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. Again, both names are foreign for Ukrainians, but they are masculine and they end in a consonant. Therefore, we will have to add endings to make it vocative. Williame. Williame. Привіт, Williame, як справи? Hi, William, how are you? And Shakespeare, also, if you would like to address somebody by the surname, Shakespeare. Як поживаєш, Shakespeare? Okay, so that is all I wanted to tell you about Ukrainian vocative case. I hope that I have clarified some of confusions. If you had any with this particular case, do let me know how you find this idea of me incorporating the books, names, titles, and the authors. Did you enjoy an exercise like that, or was it like boring? Do let me know, because I would like to make content that you enjoy. So yeah, that was my last video in my series about usage of Ukrainian cases. I will think of something else. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas for the topics, do let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that we can learn Ukrainian together. Thank you everybody who is supporting my channel on Patreon. It truly means a lot. And I will see you in my next video, hopefully very soon. Bye!